Okay. We're talking about Pesach. Pesach is a holiday that commemorates the Exodus from Egypt. It's a major holiday as it's described in the Torah. The Exodus is a major event that's described in the Torah. It's an important holiday. There it has, same as all the other holidays, just like Sukkot, just like Shavuot, there's Yantif, there's, Kiddush, holiday meals, prohibition against work, etc., just like every other Yantif, but Pesach has a few unique details. So one is the timing of Pesach. It's a 7-day holiday. The first day is Yom Tov, the last day is Yom Tov, and outside of Israel, the first 2 days are Yom Tov, day 1 and day 2, and day 7 and day 8 are Yom Tov. So those are days, again, Yantif meals, Kiddush, Motzi, and prohibition against work, etc. But like down the Yantifs, you're allowed to cook, but right, everything we discussed before about the Yantifs. The things that are unique about Pesach are as follows. One, there's a, let's do the prohibitions. There's a prohibition on eating any red product or any product made with any grain that has leaven. Bread, pasta, crackers, anything of that sort. In addition, we are concerned, leavened products in Hebrew is chametz. We're concerned, chametz we treat it as a non-kosher substance. And so just as we're concerned throughout the year about the taste of something non-kosher getting absorbed in pots and pans and then transferred to something we're eating, or the taste of something dairy cooked in a pot, then imparting that dairy taste to something meat cooked in that same pot, we have that concern when it comes to chametz on Pesach. And so we either kasher, purify our cooking utensils prior to Pesach, or we or yes.
I was just to relate it in my head, like, is it basically like sharp foods? Could you consider it similar, like how that can like the flavors aren't dormant anymore and things like that. Like the concern is going to always be there. So I guess could you look at it like that, like how you're going to have to kasher everything because it's touched and soaked into that, anything that would.
Yeah, I mean, our kitchens are imbued with chametz, and that's how we, and so.
So you have to get rid of all.
Everything that is, so the Torah prohibition against owning chametz and eating chametz. We're not supposed to own it or eat it, and we're also concerned about the taste, right? So pots, pans, forks, knives, plates, right, either have to be kashered or they have to be replaced for the week of Pesach. So depending on how much storage space you have, depending on, whatever your resources are available to, some people just kasher things, and they use their year-long things on Pesach. Just the way you would kasher something, anything that's not kosher, put it in moistened with boiling water, or whatever it might be, depending on the item, or boat torch, whatever the item might be. Or you just, pack them up, put them in a closet, and you have and take out of the closet your Pesach pots.
Okay.
And so this is mostly what we do. We have a whole set of Pesach pots and cooking, and we have a Pesach food processor, and a Pesach blender, and a mixer, a Pesach marine mixer. We have a Pesach French press.
Okay.
In a coffee pot, we don't put, this shouldn't really,
right,
there's no chametz that comes in contact with it. On the other hand, it sits on your counter all year long, so maybe you want to get a different one for Pesach. And I think different people have different tolerances for that kind of thing, And again, it depends on the money and the storage space, etc. I mean, something which is not actually used for chametz does not have to be put away for Pesach. But so our heart,
what glass on Pesach?
There are different opinions on glass on Pesach. Generally, Ashkenazi, where we get different things. We don't use our year-long glasses on Pesach. That's the basic answer. There are different opinions on that, but it's. We don't replace our hot water because the only thing that ever goes into it was water. Nothing, food should ever get on it or touch it. But it sits on the counter all year long, so we wrap it in aluminum foil.
So people who have a custom of warming their challah on top of their urn are using
on their urn, yeah.
About
it's that might be more of a problem. Although again, even so, you're probably not going to, if it's wrapped in aluminum, I don't know, it's not doesn't get piping hot even in the outside, depending on the type of urn. We live in a very insulated urn, so it doesn't get hot on the outside. So therefore, it's not, if it doesn't get piping hot, taste can't actually be absorbed, right? But that's a big deal preparing, right? So weeks before Pesach, we start putting things away and packing things up. We have storage cabinets filled with dishes that we use just for Passover, dairy dishes, meat dishes, and everything like that. A lot of people don't have that, and they just sort of have some things, and then other things are just like they kasher. We have a huge cauldron of boiling water we have here at the shul. We have like 2 events where we boil it, and then people come and they immerse. And they bring their silverware, all the things, and do that. So that's the prohibition, again, against owning or consuming chametz or any chametz product, and so you have to be, just extra careful again, so you can't actually like eating other people's homes. The stakes are a little higher, so if you're saying, they basically don't know what they're doing when it comes to keeping the kosher kitchen, so they can eat in their house, but like maybe Pesach you want to be a little bit more careful because just that much more sensitive, right?
But if someone's Sephardi and you're Ashkenazi, and you know that the person who's Sephardi is very observant, but obviously eats things that you don't, it's still okay to eat in their house, just not.
Yeah, so the Ashkenazi community also, we don't eat kidney, which is like beans and rice and corn, might Sephardim do. We can eat each other's homes, so that's fine, because it's just a custom, it's not actually chametz, so you shouldn't eat it, but you can eat other things, like you can.
What's it called?
In Hebrew it's called kitniot, Kitniot, kitniot.
Okay. It's like there's some things you can't eat much.
Yeah.
But like, there's
Gabi spends time with our family for Passover, which I don't know why. I feel like I would switch that because he's Spartan, and you can get all the value of his extra food. But he spends time with us, and he eats just like an Ashkenazi.
Great. You eat potatoes, you eat fish, you eat vegetables, salads, great things.
Sushi would be nice.
Cheese.
Pretty
You
good.
can make sushi out of quinoa, okay?
Oh yeah.
I thought quinoa was one that was controversial.
Quinoa is not quinoa.
Okay.
I mean, everything's controversial. I think it's okay.
Okay.
You can ask.
Literally.
So in addition to that, we cleanse our house of chametz. There's actually a ritual the night before Passover starts. We search for chametz in our house with a candle, going all the nooks and crannies and just making sure there isn't any chametz we've forgotten. We actually hide some chametz just to make sure we find something, and then the next morning, the morning before Pesach starts, we burn it. Most of the chametz we destroy by eating it or getting rid of, giving it to people or throwing it out, but some symbolic amount we do burn. So we search for it, we destroy it. Many of us sell if there's chametz that we can't get rid of because we just have big pantries full of lots of just wasteful or not practical. We sell it to someone non-Jewish who owns it for the week and sells it back to us after Pesach is over.
There's outlets or online things.
We have forms that the shul will distribute that people can fill out. I have some very expensive scotch in my closet. Here's where it is. Here's what it's worth. And I have some cases of pasta. That I got at Costco that's over here, and I have a giant industrial size bag of pretzels over here, and these I'm going to sell, and you authorize me to be your agent to sell.
Is it only food that you sell? Like it's okay to just lock your pots and
pans on to be sold.
But liquids do, like you said, scotch.
Yeah.
Made of
food.
Mainly grain,
Okay. Yeah.
Some people do. I don't think it's necessary.
Makes a lot more sense.
It's sales site. You should come and watch it. It's nice. So.
What's the feather part with the candle?
Yeah. So we're as we're searching for chametz, we use a feather and a wooden spoon so that everything can be burned. So we also burn all the leftover levain from Sukkot. We throw it to the bonfire. So we use one mitzvah for another. It's a mitzvah to get rid of the chametz. We also nullify it. We say, I renounce ownership of all this chametz, which should be sufficient. So it's sort of it's like triple redundancy. The nullification is sufficient, but we also make sure to search for it, to get it out of our house, unless we come across something really tempting in the middle of Passover and forget to nullify it, don't want to eat it. Okay, so we nullify and we get rid of it and we destroy it. and we sell it. Okay, we're really, really, so, don't want to have any chametz that we come across. That's a special unique prohibition against Pesach, and obviously it's like perhaps the most time consuming. A lot of work.
Like how long do people start getting ready for that?
Depends what you're doing that kind of. If you're like, if you're not hosting any holiday meals, like you're going to family or friends, then what do you have to do? You just like clean up, like I don't know, go through I have lollipops in my coat pockets because I get into case of like whatever. So like if you put food in your pockets, go through your pockets. If you put food in your purses, go through all your purses. If your car is filled with like snacks and things, go through the car. If every year, before Pesach, I like clean the car. Every year, like no food ever is gonna be allowed to get in this car, and it lasts like 3 days. Like the car is so clean before Pesach. It's like it's like a 2-hour thing, like getting a car. Like it's gross right now. It's like, but I digress. So then, so like your kitchen, if you're not going to need to use your kitchen to do a lot of cooking, so it's not all that much that has to be done. You have to empty out the refrigerator, right? You have to clear off the countertops, either cover them or kosher the countertops, lock up whatever cabinet, tape up any cabinets that have your dishes you're not going to use. But then you can just get, maybe it's just the two of you, or so you get some paper plates and and you'll eat leftovers, that your parents send you home. Your in-laws give you leftovers after Yom Tif, and you just have a few days. You might not have to do a lot, but if you're going to be cooking for like 25 people, then you really need to have the house kosher for Pesach, like several days before Passover starts, so that you can cook and freeze and get ready and have everything all set up.
Okay. If you're going out of town, like say we went to Josh's parents for the entire time,
so
then do you still like do something?
You have to. You're not going to be in your house at all at Pesach, so then you can sort of close it up before the holiday begins, and you wouldn't need to do anything and you're not be back to office. Or you should do depending where you are that night. If where you are that night before Passover starts, we're supposed to search our homes for Pesach, so you should do a search even though you're going to be gone, just to like make sure that that you've listed everything on the sale chametz form, appropriately, because so that. But
you can still sell it. You can still sell it.
Definitely sell it, right? Definitely sell it.
Okay.
Very important to sell. If you don't, there's a fine on any chametz that's owned by a Jew over Pesach. It can never be eaten even when Pesach's over.
That's the fine.
So if somebody, that's like the punishment. So if somebody doesn't sell their chametz on Pesach, even after Pesach, you can't eat it. So it's valuable. Encourage people to, even if they're not so observant, there's value in them selling their chametz and filling out a form and just doing it so that they don't violate this prohibition by owning chametz, and that you can then eat like a pretzel that they give you, And I guess if there's like a totally non-observant Jewish person who you're hanging out with 2 weeks after Pesach and say you want a pretzel from my cabinet, that could be a problem because they own that pretzel during Pesach, so you can't eat the pretzel. There's certain supermarkets where this is a problem. Supermarkets owned by someone Jewish, or there was an issue in New York. It was like the major beer distributor in the New York City area. It's like it's a Jewish business, privately owned business owned by a Jew, and he delivers beer to like most of New York City. If you're a supermarket or grocery store, or this is the guy, this is the distributor who's getting beer from him. So and last year he sold us, he agreed to sell his chametz. He used to not.
What did you do?
Did he stop business?
No.
But he just sold the chametz.
Yeah.
But he still sold it.
Yeah.
It's only a problem because
then after Pesach, you could continue to buy beer for him because you don't have to worry about what was in his warehouse. Otherwise, you wait 6 weeks or whatever it is whatever the time is for the products that the inventory empties out, and then it's new product that wasn't owned.
And this is only relative to the Yom Tov, or relative to doing business on Shabbat, and this prohibition.
Owning chametz is worse.
Okay.
And look, this guy should shut down his business and observe Yom Tif, and et cetera, but he's not doing that. At least by selling his chametz, you can buy from him after Pesach is over.
Okay.
So that's the,
But if he's selling his products on Shabbos, it's only an issue if it's coming from him, kind of thing, and it's a public type of sale that
you
people
can't
know.
buy from him at shutdown.
Not you as a Jew, but just has him as a seller.
There's no fine against buying from a Jew who has sold other products on Shabbos. There's no problem in going to a clothing store or a supermarket or whatever, buying anything from somebody who kept his store open the week, keeps his store open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
The problem is consuming chametz that was owned by another Jew on Pesach. That also means you can't go to your Aunt Sylvie's house and she says, here's a pretzel. You say, wait a second, Aunt Sylvie, it's like Pesach just ended 2 days ago, when did you get this pretzel? You own this pretzel on Pesach, that's a problem. Okay. That's provision. The positive mitzvah Pesach is all surrounded by the Passover Seder, which I guess you've all been to, a few of them, maybe a bunch of them. There are some biblical mitzvot and there are some rabbinic mitzvot of the Seder. Biblical mitzvot of the Seder are the mitzvah to tell the story of the Exodus and the mitzvah of eating matzah on the first time. Those are biblical mitzvot. There are also rabbinic mitzvot. Rabbinic mitzvot are eating maror, the bitter herb, vegetable, and drinking 4 cups of wine. And these biblical and rabbinic mitzvot are woven together in the Passover Seder, which we can spend hours talking about, but you've been to 1 or 2 or 5 or whatever in your life. It's an incredible text of really interesting history and interesting patterns and structure and really worth studying. And for Passover, we shouldn't just go into Pesach. Well, you got to say that this year, right? This past year, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did
You did okay?
Yeah.
You did a great job.
So it's worth preparing in advance and looking it over. There are every year new Passover Haggadot are published and commentaries and you read it, so that's all good.
Is there anything that makes the Haggadah kosher or not kosher? Like, I'm thinking, someone was talking about, like, there's a Harry Potter Haggadah. Like, is that something that might be acceptable to use? Like,
Yeah, there's an Orthodox rabbi who published that. I mean, I think, if the Haggadah isn't published under Orthodox auspices, then you have to change the words. But I think, so that was what you want to, and then it would be not so helpful to you if you want to say all the words, that would be a problem. But there are lots of Haggadot with interesting out there, maybe not so, maybe the perspective is in some ways problematic or one could object to, but if it has the basic words, then, you can use it, right? And you'll just, figure it out.
so basically, as long as the publisher's Orthodox.
Yeah, or even, there's a Haggadah that came out maybe 7 or 8 years ago called the New American Haggadah. That was published by, I think, nobody Orthodox, but they decided they would keep the text, the traditional text. And so all the innovative stuff is the translation and the commentary and the illustration. And so, you can approach those with whatever caveats, you want to employ, but you could use it at Passover because it has all the words, right?
We had one growing up with the Disney movie, but it was just like the pictures.
Pictures, yeah, it has the original text, but the pictures are from...
It was a Disney movie with
Prince of Egypt?
Oh.
Prince of Egypt. Yep, that was it. So we had that edition.
Yeah, so that was,
Is the Harry Potter one? Is it like a different
I've never seen it. Someone was just, I don't know why we were talking about it this Shabbat, but we were.
It came out.
That's interesting.
It came out a few years ago. I know the author a little bit. I said it was subtle a little bit more. It seems like I don't know. We try to buy one every year. There's one that I was really excited about this year. I'm trying to remember. I felt like, oh, this is really good. I was really excited to get it. It's like, this year I don't remember what it is, so hopefully.
By Passover.
Yeah, I'll remember before Pesach comes. Yeah.
There's some great jokes. Really good jokes.
Oh, in what?
Just online.
Passover jokes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like they really...
You had like a whole script.
There's a whole thing
One
of
of
them.
your kid, one of the twins.
So the Passover joke?
Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but it was really
That's
funny.
really good. Okay. They really enjoy
I think it was a knock-knock joke.
who's, okay, Baruch Hamach, that one?
Yeah.
That joke is older than it's far older than my children. That joke goes back to my in-laws.
I figured, but they told it this year.
Yes. That joke is I heard that joke for almost 20 years. So that's I think it's older than that. So, okay. It's supposed to be fun. So, I'm not going to tell you about it because you've done it, right? So, but just like the mitzvah are important, and just like the mitzvah is to consume 4 cups of wine. So unlike Kiddush, unlike Kiddush on Shabbat, where one person has to drink, but not necessarily the person who makes Kiddush, and not everyone who's there who's listening to Kiddush and feeling their obligation to hear Kiddush. At the 4 cups of wine, everyone has to drink the 4 cups of wine. So at Pesach, everyone should have a cup of wine in front of them, and maybe one person says Kiddush, and everyone drinks.
Why are we so particular about, I think I used to know the answer to this, but like we eat the foods in the beginning in a very particular order,
Yeah.
such that like you can say the blessing on each of them because
Yes.
you don't exempt it.
Correct.
Why, like that's the opposite of Shabbat. Is there,
Yeah, that's interesting. Why not just put everything under?
is it just part of like paying lots of attention throughout? Like,
Yeah, I think, sort of like the symbolic, sorry, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they each have different significance.
Yeah, and the meal is sort of like, that's sort of like at the end, sort of like you tell the story and you use all these
sure.
symbolic
Props.
things to like tell the story exactly, and it's not that much. I mean, the first eating is karpas, which maybe just evolved from just basically appetizer, right? Like, the Passover Seder is sort of modeled maybe on the ancient Greco-Roman symposium, right? Which is like these meals you would have to discuss philosophical topics, reclining on couches, eating symbolic foods, right? That was like a thing that was happening in the world, right? So you have an appetizer, okay? And after you have your appetizer, you like start telling the story, and then the mitzvah of eating the matzah, and then eating the maror, and then eating, right? These are all the mitzvah of the night. Once you've done the mitzvah of the night, we then have the rest of the feast, the holiday meal. Okay. Any other Passover questions? I think we said the prohibitions, which is the positive mitzvah in not great detail because you've all done it before. And we don't have to call them at the beginning, so. Okay. Nice holiday. So what was the, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
again, back to going to work, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
assuming you're going to work, obviously you're careful about what you're bringing to eat, but is it problematic to like share a table with a non-Jew who is eating chametz or like?
Yeah, if you don't know them and you have your own like plate and maybe your own like little tablecloth or something, that's fine.
If you do know them.
If you know somebody in general, it's problematic to share a table because you're concerned that you'll like share food from them, so it's not kosher or it's like issue throughout the year. So you should put something else, like some sort of reminder, maybe something like a pen, or something on the table to remind you
Sure.
not to share food.
And that works on Passover.
Or some Passover too, but maybe I wouldn't go into a Starbucks on Pesach,
Sure.
even though coffee's probably just as fine as it is throughout the year. Just like there's so much bread stuff around there, and it's just, I couldn't feel right doing that.
I mean, a difference between like just going into a Starbucks whatsoever.
I think that's like I would feel uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm thinking more about like the cafeteria in my office where clearly the table is not.
Right.
I can do what I can do. But
Yeah, and you're not gonna touch the table, and you can be clean. Make sure it's clean. You're not gonna touch it. You put something down on the plate or a table. You have to put a napkin down or something, and you have to put that on top of that. Or your desk if it's even better. Those days. Right, on Pesach, chametz isn't nullified. I mean, generally in kasher, I think we talked about this. Things are nullified. We talked about this. Things are nullified in 60 times their volume. You read about this, right? Things are nullified in 60 times their volume. It's not true for chametz and Pesach. So even a tiny amount can contaminate. Right? So for certain things, you just buy them for Pesach. Grab coffee, orange juice. We just buy them for Pesach. If a tiny quantity of chametz contaminated it, it's nullified before Pesach begins. Once Pesach begins, it's not nullified. So you really have to be, something's better as much as possible. Buy some things before Pesach. Make them for Pesach, and on Pesach itself, just be really more extra careful that they're certified kosher for Passover. All the kasher agencies produce booklets about, which products are kosher for Passover.
There's some weird stuff
Yeah,
at
websites.
some grocery stores
Yeah.
that I
Other
encountered.
special products, yeah.
Like things that growing up, I always big matzah cream cheese fan.
Yeah.
And then when I was in college, I remember going somewhere and it was an onion flavored matzah. I'm like, I've never heard about this. Like, how did I never hear about this? and on the bottom it says not intended for Passover, and it's in like the kosher aisle.
So the worst
Because,
part
like, they
is
don't
when
know
they put the
anything.
non-kosher for Passover stuff in the Passover section.
So I've always,
Yeah,
it's
you
too good to be
yeah.
true.
Look,
It's not
like,
kosher.
Look, the reason why, first of all, like, you can get onion matzah for Passover, that's not the issue. The onions are not a problem. The problem is that matzah companies want to sell matzah 12 months a year. And there's a market for matzah 12 months a year. My family, we eat a lot of matzah. My son, loves matzah. He has it with eggs and ketchup. That's his like favorite dinner. Okay? People eat matzah. About non-Jews love matzah. People eat it throughout the year. They don't want to have to produce kosher Passover matzah throughout the year because that requires a high level of supervision and caution, and it's just a good idea for no one cares. So they just make it not kosher Passover, all sorts of flavors. They sell it to whomever, sun-dried tomato, garlic flavored matzah, whatever, fine. And then 3 months before Passover, they thoroughly clean all the machines, and they bring in a whole team of extra rabbis for supervision, and they change the way they make it to make sure, from the time the water and the flour mix until it comes out of the oven, it's less than 18 minutes, and they ramp up their Passover production, but they're selling throughout the year with not for Passover. So you need to be careful to look, but you can find Passover onion matzah.
You can get like flavored.
Yes. Or
Interesting.
If like someone, like my mom comes to visit or something
Yeah.
and brings, I don't know, granola bars in her purse, like into my house, is that problematic? Like
It stays in
asking
her
her
purse.
not to eat them, of course.
yes,
but-
I don't think you don't have to like inspect people's bags when they come into your house on Passover or throughout the year, but especially on Passover, I think it would be appropriate to be like not to be eating food. I mean, look, it's not your food; it's not your food. Some repair has to be, some plumber has to come.
Yeah.
Right? You're not gonna tell them like can't eat. I don't know, like
Right.
that, but just make sure they're in your kitchen or you're not,
Like
they
over-
contaminate your things. And if it's your mother, you could say like, don't eat that in my house.
Right. And the flip side, like, well, no, I guess it's the same question.
That gluten-free matzah is like fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Have you had it?
Oh, it's so good.
It
actually.
tastes
It's
like
really light.
it tastes like Parmesan cheese crisps.
Ooh.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know.
Have you had it?
I think I did.
I think it's a
I
newer
prefer
thing.
People
that.
have oat matzah. That people who can't eat gluten often have oat matzah. That's like a thing that like some people it's very popular, but not
Like almond milk?
spelt matzah you can get, which is some people issue diet. We get some whole wheat matzah. It's sort of some people find it easier to digest. All right, let's pause here. It's just at 8 o'clock. We will see you later.
Yeah.
See you also tomorrow, hopefully.
Tomorrow
Hopefully I'll
morning.
see you on Wednesday.
I'm also seeing you tomorrow morning.
I just you have still more questions?
Mhm.
Great. Great. Okay.
This class is for me too tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure that
Extra important. Extra important. Yes.
extra.
The-
Yeah.
My friend who you met